Hello guys and welcome. I have some incredible news for you guys and you have probably seen it already too. Yes! We are getting a really great new Minecraft update that will be released in summer 2021. And the update is the Caves and Cliffs update. Like, oh wow, we have been waiting for it for so long for the caves to finally receive an update. This was the most wished update from all of them. There were actually like a lot of memes about it and it's crazy. And what's really cool about this cave update is we are also getting new cave biomes. Like one of the new cave biomes is the lush caves, and they're actually caves with a lot of plants inside and some unique plants that are brand new to the game. We have glowing vines with some glowing berries. They do increase the light level, and we also have some interesting pink flower with particles and some really interesting leaves that grow on the water. And those leaves that you can find on the water, they have a really interesting name and function. They're called drip leaf plant. And they can be used like stairs, but the downside of them is they will break after a short duration and they will repair by themselves. So it's like really good if you're like planning to do some parkour or something, or if you're like maybe having some sort of tree house and you want to use them to get to your tree house. Like I can see it being really interesting for such builds, right? Like if you want like really green builds like treehouse for example. For that, like yeah, I would go for the driplet plant. And oh wow, I'm so in love with the update. This will be the biggest update ever. And even the caves, like how they generate, will be completely different. They will be so large. Like I've never seen such huge caves before unless you customize them and you need to dig for hours. And you even will find like a lot of water in the caves. And there will be like water levels, what is really interesting. And the glow squid will actually also appear there. And I will later talk about the glow squid and yeah. And what I really like about the caves now is if you want to, you can actually build like whole cities and big bases in the caves because they are so big. Like you have so much space now. You can even make like underground farms now without like having to dig that much. And because they are so big, you can also fly now with the elytra through them. What seems really fun and interesting. Like imagine flying around in caves. But that's how much space we are getting. And you can even like use a boat now because there's like so much water. And you have like huge lakes. Like look at that. That looks like in a freaking anime or something, right? Like when I saw this, I was getting like anime vibes. And now I can actually use a boat in a cave. Usually you don't have so much water in caves, so it's like impossible to use a boat there, right? But now you can do like really crazy stuff there. Like if you wanted to, you can also do some rifting there now. Like that's interesting, right? Like there's like underground waterfalls and stuff, and you can like drive them down with the boat with friends and be in like a high speed and stuff. Like that is so crazy. Like I never imagined that we could like do something like that in caves now. Oh wow. This is probably my most favorite update. Like the Nether update was really big, don't get me wrong, I love it. But this one I love a bit more. That's just my opinion. And there's also like another biome coming, the Dripstone caves. This will also be an underground biome, and there will be like dripstone. Those are like stone needles basically, and you can also collect them. Maybe you can actually craft something with them. I'm not 100% sure yet, but that would be really interesting if you could craft something with that. In the video we actually saw a zombie fall on one of them from a not so high height, and it took incredible amounts of damage, so you have to be careful not to fall on them. And the way they generate is really unique. And those dripstones have also another function. They're actually having water particles and water drops, and you can collect water with an iron bucket from them, what is really cool. And I think it's very useful too, because that's basically an infinite water source, right? So if you have like a base underground in a cave, now you could actually make like a little lake there if there's no water already, and make like a farm, or maybe bring some fish. And in the deep caves, like if you go like really deep, there will be also a new block, and the block is called the Skulk block. like those Skulk growths. And they remind me a bit of the ant because of the color and the way they look. Or they're like some blue substance with like some bubbles. It's really, really creepy. And they can actually be also used for some redstone build. There's like one really interesting Skulk block, and this one is called the Skulk sensor. And this one can detect vibration, so if you're like jumping or shooting an arrow, throwing a snowball, or maybe just even walking, it will detect it and will send out a signal and makes a very creepy, strange sound. And with that, you actually have a wireless redstone function. So now you can, for example, put a lever down, and over a distance there will be something detected. And when you mix it up with, for example, a piston, the piston will activate from it. And you can actually make it where just one side will give a signal through wool occlusion. And with that, you just put like wool around it and leave one side open. So only vibrations and sounds from what's in front or in the front direction of the Skulk sensor will be detected and be sent into your redstone signal. I can see a lot of interesting builds with that. I will also experiment around with it once it comes and maybe make a couple of builds. And now we're also gonna have cave candles, what's really interesting. I think this would make also a great decoration, for example, if you have like a castle, or maybe you want to have like a graveyard or something for whatever reason. Like now you can put like candles into your graveyard or your castle and give your home an even more medieval feeling, right? But it's risky to get those candles because they will be in the deep caves. And why is it risky? There will be a really terrifying, scary new mob that will give you nightmares and give you the first night feelings. Yes, the warden here. This is such a creepy, terrifying mob. And this was actually blind. It detects you through vibration. And it looks like from a horror movie or something. It's really creepy and also does those really creepy sounds. Like Enderman have creepy sounds, but this one has probably like more creepier sounds in my opinion. Like it's really terrifying. And I'm actually wondering why this one has the same color as Skulks. Is it maybe a human that got lost in the caves, or villager, and there was no food source and it had to consume the Skulk? And that was the only food source, and after a while the villager or human turned into this beast? Maybe. It's really huge as well. It's a quite tall creature. And it does remind me of a mythical creature that is common in Canada. But there's also like a horror movie where a similar creature was that also had those antlers like a deer or elk. And what I'm talking about is the Wendigo. It's a mythical creature that's common in Canada, where they're actually inspired by the Wendigo when they made the warden, the new OP terrifying mob. What's actually creepy is in the video the person had netherite armor and he got like two shot by the warden. That's how much damage it deals. It can two-shot you with full netherite armor. So you have to be really careful to fight it. And the mountain update will also be part of the cliffs and caves update. And we're gonna have like a new animal in the mountains, the goats. And I'm really looking forward to them. They can jump crazy, crazy high. But don't attack them, because if they turn hostile, they can throw you around by a couple of blocks. When they push you with their head, with their horns, they send you flying for a bit. And if you're, for example, at the cliffs and this goat attacks you, you could actually die through fall damage. So you want to be really, really careful. What they've also announced about the mountain update is, that will be part of the caves update, is the whole generation of the mountains will change. The mountains will be way more leveled and it will be easier to climb them, but they will also be much higher, and there are like so many trees now. I'm actually wondering if they are going to add more trees. It looks like it from that what they have shown us. So I'm like really, really curious if that will be like that. And there's also powdered snow now. Powdered snow is a snow block that looks like a regular snow block, but you can actually fall through that one. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's like a transparent block basically, right? So you walk on it and you fall through. I'm actually wondering if it's like, if you can like die like with lava or something. That would be so annoying. And by the way, we're also getting a new ore block. Soon we will also have the Cooper ore, and we will have the amethyst geodes. The amethyst geodes are really beautiful crystals, and those crystals can be actually used to craft something and maybe for some other recipes. And what's really cool about the amethyst crystals is you can craft something quite useful. And this one is a telescope. Now you can actually search the area that you're exploring and have a more efficient exploration, because now you know what's up ahead, and you can look to the right and left and find something interesting that you want to explore. That's interesting. We have now a zoom function in Minecraft. And yeah, like I mentioned earlier, there's also a new Cooper ore that will be added, and the Cooper ore will also be one of the materials you need to use for making the telescope. And that's how the Cooper ore looks like. It has like a orange color, just like our real life Cooper, and that's what it's based off, of course. That's why it's called Cooper ore. And you can also make blocks with the Cooper ore, not just craft a telescope. And the blocks actually look really nice. You also have the options to make stairs with it and slabs. I'm actually wondering if there's also a Cooper fence. There was no Cooper fence shown, but who knows? Maybe there will be a Cooper fence. That will also be really interesting. They showed actually a house with a Cooper roof here, and I think it looks so nice, those Cooper stairs, right? Like, they really looked great. And yeah, like, I'm wondering if Cooper is all they add, or if they will also add something like silver. Like, imagine there was actually silver in Minecraft. I mean, we do have gold, but we don't have silver. I hope they will also add silver to Minecraft. That would be so fun. What's special about the Cooper blocks is they will actually age and wither with the weather. First they have the Cooper color, but after a while they will change to green. And then you have like green Cooper blocks. I think that will look so interesting if you, for example, are making a Japanese castle or like traditional Japanese buildings, right? Because don't they also had like greenish roofs in history? Like, I've seen some structures like that. Oh wow, like that will be so interesting. And you can also make a lightning rod with it, and this will protect your house from lightning so it doesn't burn away. So if a lightning hits your house, it will hit the lightning rod. So you won't have your house burnt away after you just come back from maybe like a cave exploration, for example. Like, I'm wondering what else you can do with the Cooper. So far I only know about stairs, slabs, regular blocks, the lightning rod and the telescope. And they're all great things, but I hope there will also be a Cooper fence, because then you can have like a green metallic looking fence. I mean, you could use the warped wood for that, because it's a bit similar in color to warped wood, right? But hey, it maybe has a different texture, even though the color is similar. So one thing I'm actually wondering, can you actually turn the Cooper back when it turns green? Will there be a function? Or maybe you can use like a shear or some water bucket and it becomes back to the original color, or not? I'm so confused. And what they're also going to add for the update, and that's an issue that I always have, like, I'm constantly having in this game inventory issues. And yeah, you can use like a shulker box and use that for inventory, but imagine you could use like a backpack or something. That would be so useful. And yes, they're adding something like that. It's called bundles. So now you can use a bundle and put varieties of items like grass blocks and iron ingots, like shown here, for example, or other ones, and you can store them inside. And it's not just that, you can actually put those bundles then in a chest for maximum storage. Like, just look at that. Like, imagine you have like 10 or 20 of those full of blocks. You can extend your chest by 10 times the space, basically, right? Or even more. Like, this is so crazy what they are going to add. Like, I'm really looking so forward to it. Especially like the inventory edition now. I have always issues. Like, those of you that know me and that have seen like my live streams, my Let's Play episodes, I constantly need to run from chest to chest, and with those bundles I don't need to worry about that anymore. And by the way, they're also adding a whole new system now to Minecraft, and this one's a really fun one. Now you can actually become an archaeologist with ecological excavations. And how do you do this? You use a brush, you go to an excavation site and you brush it. And you can store it then in a frame, for example, or you can put this on a pot. And you can discover like lost history, for example. And you can actually burn the pot, and once it's ready it turns brown, and you can use it for house decoration. But you need to be so careful with the brush to not do it too quick, otherwise you can break the blocks and they will be gone forever. You can also get like emerald blocks from it. Maybe you can even get diamond blocks. Actually in the live it actually looked like a diamond block, like one that broke. Like, I would be so frustrated. Like, imagine you're excavating and you're doing some research there, and then you break a diamond block. That would be so frustrating. I hope this never happens to me. And a new friendly mob will also be added soon. And oh wow, like this one mob is actually a really cute one that they are going to add, and this one can be found in the lush caves, and this one is the axolotl. And the axolotls, they come in different color variations. Here's a pink and brown one, but in this art here is also a yellow one and a purple one. So I'm wondering how many variations there are. What's cool is you can actually collect the axolotls with a bucket, and you can put them in an aquarium if you want. Or you can actually transport them to a very interesting location, and the location is the deep sea. Yes, you can actually bring them to deep sea adventures, and they will somehow follow you, and they will actually fight against guardians and drowned. And if they take damage, they pretend to be dead, and then they regen, and then they get back into the fight. And they also said the axolotl can somehow, if you're on friendly terms with it, heal you. I'm actually wondering what they meant by that. Like what must you do so they heal you? Because that's also really interesting. Now you have a pet that follows you underwater, the first underwater pet, and it can freaking heal you. Imagine you're low HP from fighting a lot of like hostile mobs, and you hide in the corner, and the axolotl swims to you, and it heals you back up to full health, and you get back in the fight as well. Or imagine you have like a whole army of like 20 axolotls, I'm not sure if there's a cap, and they're just gonna nuke everything around you. And this would be so interesting. I'm actually wondering how you breed those axolotls. And what's really cool about Mojang is that they actually added the axolotl also because it's an endangered species, and they want to bring some awareness to endangered species. That's why they also added the bees in the past. Like, it's really good because it really brings awareness to those, because a lot of people maybe still don't know there is such a creature, in such an animal in our world. So, oh wow. And yeah, about the mob vote, you guys that haven't seen it, there was now a winner, and it was like really close for a while between the Iceologer and the glow squid, and the Moobloom lost in the first round, unfortunately. And yeah, actually the Moobloom was my favorite one. But yeah, the winner is, what do you guys think? It was the freaking glow squid. But the good thing is about the glow squid is they will also be found in those new caves, because we have like a lot of cave waters with those water levels. So Agnes already said they will be in the caves. So they will not just be in the deep sea, but also in the caves. So this was something I was really looking forward to, like a mob that we can encounter quite often. Like, I was worried when it won, before Agnes announced that they will be found in caves, that you will never ever encounter the glow squids unless you go to the deep sea. And let's be honest, the majorities of the players are not in the deep sea. But if you do get there, now you have a beautiful sight there with those glow squid. I hope they make it where they will emit light, because currently there's no function in Minecraft with anything, like you can't walk with a torch, or there's no mob that's actually glowing and emitting light. But it would be cool if they do add to the light level in the sea. And I do hope they are also going to drop prismarine crystals, because then you can make those beautiful sea lamps. And I've seen them in a couple of builds, and they look also really great. So you could use them instead of, for example, glowstone or shroomlight, right? For builds. Yeah, the only downside of the Caves and Cliffs update is that this one will be released in summer 2021. So we still need to be really patient. And because they add so much stuff, I, for example, will start on a whole new world. On that what I'm currently building here in the Flower Forest, this will be a base, and with the app I will delete everything around it. I will collect like diamonds, iron and basic stuff, and then I will delete everything with the app except for this one, so stuff can generate again. So you either need to use an app to get like the new generation of the mountains and the areas and delete all the chunks around your base, or you will maybe have to start a new world if you want to enjoy the complete update. Otherwise you need to explore pretty far. But yeah, guys, oh wow, I love what I've heard, what I've seen, and I don't mind that the glow squid one. Maybe it will be cool, maybe it will drop something unique, but yeah, anyway. If you guys are new to the channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content, and don't forget to like this video, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any new video. and please stay all safe and healthy, and I wish everyone a wonderful day or wonderful night depending on where you live, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.